Way high in a tree there lived a Homin, and then said, "Wait, what exactly is a Homin, anyways?" So consider this for a moment. Let's say that I wanted to make my own fantasy story, or at the very least, a setting for it. And let's say that instead of only using stock fantasy races like dwarves, elves, and orcs as characters, I wanted to give a shot at making up my own. So, what would my first attempt at that look like exactly? I guess I would start where most demi-human creations do, reimagining the human condition itself. Maybe tap into our species' closest members. Hmm, let's try this then. Within the forested areas of a world called Koth, one can find the beings known as the Homins. They are notable for their short stature, roughly 90 to 120 centimeters, or 3 foot to 3 foot 11 inches tall, fully grown for us Imperial System users. Their hair, which grows on their heads more than the rest of their bodies, comes naturally in either black, brown, blonde, red, or midnight blue. However, most striking about these people is related to how they live. See, among humanity, homins are unique in that rather than the ground, they primarily live within the trees. Reflecting this are their signature traits of having feet with an opposable toe and a fully prehensile tail, also covered in hair. Putting their unique anatomy to good use, a homin can grip with their feet to hold onto or hang from high points like branches. Homin tails also assist greatly in their lives, often acting as a fifth hand when it comes to getting around, carrying things, or during some manual tasks. Speaking of getting around, a homin does so mainly by swinging from branch to branch, vine to vine, and climbing up tree trunks or rock walls at a leisurely pace or even impressive speeds. Helping this ability are their arms, which are about the same length as their legs, so they have no need to bend to touch their knees. Even with all their tree climbing prowess, you shouldn't make the mistake of assuming that homins will be bending down and dragging their knuckles like other primates. As a member of the human family, this species has the stable knees, ankles, hips, and posture to naturally walk upright on two legs, whether on branches or if they ever have to be on the floor. Even adapting to tree climbing has removed their ability to walk on the ground, though other human races would probably still be able to have an advantage in a long foot race or walk. Now, the origins of the race are still being hotly debated among scientists, like most human origins actually. It's clear that their ancestors were also land dwelling like their kin, but some deviation caused their lineage to find shelter in the trees. Whatever the reason, the fossil records suggest the oldest homins started in the tropical regions and slowly expanded to the subtropics and coastal regions, then later into the temperate forest areas, including the colder boreal ones. Some woodlands and forested areas actually appear to have been made intentionally by homins, likely to increase their range. Within homins are a variety of appearances. Some are grouped together usually due to some shared origin or physical characteristics. This has led to at least four recognized phenotypes among homins. For example, the tropic homins tend to have medium, dark, or rarely light shades of ochre brown skin, dark brown or black hair, and brown eyes. Sylvan homins tend to have coppery skin tones, brown or hazel eyes, and black or dark blue hair. Isle homins tend to have medium to dark brown skin, typically black but sometimes blonde or red hair, and brown, blue, or gray eyes. Taiga homins tend to have olive to light brown to ivory skin tones and typically brown, blonde, and rarely red hair, along with blue, hazel, or green eyes. Now, to be clear, these are basically clusters that share physical features, but they are all individuals within the same species. They are also different than ethnicity, as there are many different ethnic groups of homins, too many to fit into this one video. Though, if you're interested, I might do one in the future. When it comes to food, homins have traditionally gathered what grows within the same trees that they call home, whether that be fruit, nuts, flowers, certain leaves, tree sap, and insect larvae. They may also hunt for small animals such as snails, certain insects, frogs, salamanders, lizards, birds, and their eggs, or fish and other seafood if they live near a water source. Forest gardening is another technique of acquiring food and materials in a way that supplements foraging for homins. Useful plants and vines are found and encouraged to grow, while undesirables may be taken out within the range of the gardens. These forest farming techniques can also be adapted by homins living in temperate climates as well. When looking for a home, initially a suitable tree is located. Homins can be selective about sites even though many different tree species are used. The foundation is then built by pulling together branches under them and joining them at a point. After the foundation has been built, the homin bends similar leafy branches onto the foundation to serve as a mattress. This increases the stability of the nest and forms the final process of nest building. Homins may add additional features such as pillows, blankets, roofs, and bunk beds to their nest with surrounding materials. Pillows are made by clumping together leafy branches with the leaves in the center and biting the twig shoots pointed outward to blunt the sharp ends. A blanket consists of a large leafy branches with which homins cover themselves after lying down. Homins may create a waterproof overhead shelter for the nest by braiding together a loose selection of branches. Beyond the initial nest, homins can use various materials like fallen wood to construct shelters within the strongest branches of a tree. This results in tree houses with many variations in size, design, carrying capacity, and the like. Many decorate them with side or hanging gardens to plant flowers or crops that would normally only be on the ground. Homins across the board tend to favor monogamous relationships, though there are some cultural groups where polygamy is tolerated or encouraged. The latter often occurs in either more remote locations or those with limited resources or high mortality rates. Homins, for the most part, have their best relations with other races that dwell within the forests and woodlands. This includes many Fey races, such as fairies, who their territories often overlap and have shared farming techniques and even living spaces with. Another example is the merfolk, especially for homins that live on islands, near the coastline, or in forested wetlands. Harpies generally meet homins during their migration patterns, unless they make their nests in the neighboring trees. They tend to be amicable in their relations, especially during their mating season, when they will become more active in their advances to the males of the species. Homins can also find themselves under the care of certain nature spirits like dryads if they take up residence in their guarded tree and respect it. Similar arrangements can even happen with the plant fae race, the Alurun, who can provide a source of rare plant materials and nutritious fruit in exchange for cardinal pleasures in their reproduction. Most Haman cultures have been wary of Lamia, succubi, Jorogumo, and Yukiona, however, many believing that members of these races would steal away men to their dwellings for various reasons that would eventually end in the kidnap's demise. While the intentions had by most of these species were often less than lethal, the avoidance and occasional aggression from the homins seem to reinforce this relationship for generations, along with many myths and folktales stressing their mischief and supposed malice. Homins generally had similar sentiments with other races like giants, Amazons, and Hofflins, who were more than likely to threaten their actual livelihood, as most of these species would often clear out the trees that homins would make their home in. This led to a history of tension between certain homin groups with these races, especially groups of Hofflins who began industries that relied on chopping down trees for timber or farmable land. They also have an interesting relationship with the Juehu and Tanuki, as both races have histories of impersonating themselves as homins when convenient or for trickery, so different homins groups have a variety of opinions on them. Far more amicable relations can be found with the Usagi, who they work with on many occasions in forest gardens. And there you have it, my expedition dump on the Homins. This is the first in a series of videos that showcases aspects of a fantasy world I built called the Arcane Realm. It was pretty fun, this exercise to showcase my fantasy race. I'm curious to see people's responses to them. I even dabbled drawing them in various art styles for this video for fun. If this video helped inspire your own attempts to make your own species, or you found this topic interesting, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about homins or what the next aspect of my world will be, also let me know and I will do my best to get back to you. Otherwise, have a great day.